Accelerationism versus inceldom. I decided to make this video because I've been on our brain cells lately, and I agree with some of the things that incels say, but obviously, considering their apologies for moderators, they are reactionary, they're stupid. Um, they're not as bad as MGTOW or obviously the Red Pill, but there's a lot of things that they simply don't get, and that is the result of their liberalism. That is the result of their first world just ingrained into them, and you can't argue with those types. All you can do is exploit the parts of them that are convenient to your narrative, to your goals, to your ideology. So, what I mean by this is a lot of things incels say are correct. Women are terrible people. Um, there is a huge disparity between men and women, and between even different classes of men and women. Everything they say about women being shallow and exclusively based on looks and money and things like that, all of that's true. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because this really isn't about how incel is correct, but more so about how incel is convenient to those that are correct. And what I mean by that is, here's an example. Um, One guy said that women are always bitching about men being entitled to sex. You're not entitled to sex. But then they turn around and cheat on their, Army and Marines husband out in Iraq or something because they have to go a few months without sex. This is exactly true. Women feel entitled to sex. They can't go fucking a month without having a dick up their pussy. But a man could go his whole life being a monk, and he should just live with it because you're not entitled to sex, even though it's a very basic biological need. Sex is right up there with food or oxygen, but somehow it's entitlement. You're starting to sound like a Republican there. And what's really the difference between an incel desiring sex or companionship versus, a Negro desiring fucking healthcare or free food or free housing? It's the same shit. It's the same shit in that you are not having your needs met in a population, but you're under the social contract. If they're not fulfilling their end of the social contract, you should nig the fuck out. That's the basic socialism. That is the basic of any left wing ideology. Is that you, as a participant in society, are supposed to have your needs met, and if you don't, you have the right to chimp the fuck out. Now, you can argue that inceldom isn't a proper excuse to chimp the fuck out. Well, who are you to argue that? You are arguing about all these expenses. Food doesn't pay for itself. Healthcare doesn't pay for itself. Housing and education doesn't pay for itself. You spreading your legs so fucking incel shut the fuck up, that's relatively cheap to do. That doesn't require all that much out of society. But you're because it comes down to feels before reals. You see, women feel like their bodies are a temple. That they're so, because it's not even like they hold virginity and purity up on a pedestal. It's because they know that it has a lot of economic and material value. They know if men worship women, women get to have nice things. So of course they're gonna act like my body is a temple. Don't rape me, boys. Ooh, but it's all bullshit. You're a fucking whore. You're fucking skank. And in a way, the incels are right. Everything else they're not right about, but in this regard, they're right. You know. And when you get right down to it, who fucking cares what these people think anyway? Because that's another thing. I guarantee you, someone on Lefty Poll is gonna post this video, probably a third positionist, and other lefty pollers are gonna be like, "Oh my god, why are you bringing this? This is so reactionary. Hey, hey, hey!" And they're probably gonna ban people. Never mind the fact that they're enforcing private property, but they're socialists. We won't get into that. But what we will get into is how, who the fuck cares what you think? Oh, boo hoo, I'm not going to be Grand Chancellor of your imaginary Soviet Union. That's never going to happen. Oh no, if there was a pretend gulag, you would put me in it. As if my life isn't a prison already. But I would go to the pretend prison of, people that you don't like and say things that you don't like too fucking bad. That's what they're not understanding. There isn't a global socialist movement. There isn't a revolution. There probably isn't going to be a revolution. This is the reality of the matter. The reality of the matter is that you live under a society that has immense class disparity. You live under a society that does not give a fuck what happens to you. You could die alone. You could die of disease. You could die of hunger. You could be thrown into a fucking war that was never gonna end and shot up by brown people, white people if they think you're brown, whatever. Anything could happen at any time. And in all of that chaos, you don't even have your free speech to say it online because some fucking pedophiles, probably on heroin, is, banning you for whatever reason. And meanwhile, you're upset because I'm saying that women are cunts. Even though we know women are cunts. They say so themselves. But I'm not supposed to say it because I have a beard. What if I identify as a woman? Then is it okay if I say it? I'm a woman now. I guess I can talk about women. Hashtag all women are like that. It's fucking stupid. Who cares? Who fucking cares? And, you know, there's really nowhere else to go with that. It's just like, you know what, in this regard, incels are right, and the entire first world communist movement is a goddamn joke. It's a goddamn joke. As long as you have moderators in your, little forums and shit, you are never going to be taken seriously. You can't be taken seriously. Because it's not even a matter of what the right wing thinks or what the softer left wingers think or anything like that. It's just a matter of if you have these kind of psychopaths in your midst, nothing's ever going to get done. Nothing. The only hope you have in the first world, and maybe even second and third world, is accelerationism. Is the notion that let's just not give a fuck and be assholes. That's all it really comes down to. Let's just be assholes. Let's look at women's issues like prostitution. Radfems argue that prostitution hurts women. That it's basically just rape factories. Good. That sounds like great accelerationism. But at the same time, liberal feminists think it's empowering. Well, that's bad. Why would we want to empower women? Women are bitches. And in a way, they might be right because you pay for a prostitute. You're paying for a woman to be a slut, and that's good money. I don't get paid to be a slut. I would love to get paid to have sex, but I don't get fucking. So I'm not making money or having sex. That's just a lose-lose. That's not accelerationism at all. What the fuck are you even doing, man? And so you got to think about these things. Even being an asshole requires work. So I got to think about, is it really going to be like rape factories, or is it just going to be more sleuths being sleuths and getting paid to do it? Because that sounds really bad. And the problem with incels is they don't think about this. They're just like, well, then I wouldn't be a virgin anymore if there were prostitutes. Yeah, but then women would feel more entitled to being the way women are because you're fucking paying them to be. You retard. Ugh. So just something to think about.